guys, Travis Tooke here, and I just got a green screen. This is very cool. I'm pretty excited. This will allow me to have fun, exciting backgrounds, make it look like I've been far off places of the world, and it's all very real looking. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to use it yet, so for today, I hope you enjoy the color green and enjoy this video. So in this video, I want to talk about the 4 levels of Jiu Jitsu competence. Now, before I get there, I wanted to say that this idea is not unique to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. This is a concept that can be applied to any skill, anything new that you learn. And I was first introduced to this concept by a world memory champion, and he discussed the idea when he was teaching us concepts on speed reading. And the 4 concepts are, the first one is unconscious incompetence. That is basically where everyone is before they begin anything new. So in Jiu Jitsu, no matter which level you're at, as I discussed them, every one of us started at level 1, unconscious incompetence. That means we don't know what we don't know. In other words, we've never heard of Jiu Jitsu, we've never seen it, we've never practiced, we've never been introduced to it. We have no idea that it exists. Something had to come along to show us that this art existed. Now, you can fill in the blank for any other skill that you want to learn. It could be music, it could be, like I said, speed reading. When I heard about this, and I'm not a speed reader, but that's how I was introduced to this concept, is that speed readers, when they first learn, they don't even know, before they get into this idea, that there is such a thing. Then they learn there is such a thing, and then ultimately they master the idea. So really anything you learn, any skill, you're always going to start at that level. The goal will be to end on level 4. And I'll get to that in a minute. So, unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. This is the person walking on the street that's never heard of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. The next step, the next level, conscious incompetence. Now you've heard of or been shown the art. So for me, it was watching the very first UFC back in, the first UFC was in 1993. I think I saw it in 96 or 97. I was about 14 years old, and at that time, actually no, a little bit earlier, but at that time, I watched the first UFC. I watched Royce Gracie come out and win. I didn't know Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't know what Jiu-Jitsu was. There is where I was introduced to it, and I became aware. There's something out there that at that time was the most dominant martial art form against all the other individual arts that were tested against it. So I became consciously incompetent. I knew that there was something that I did not know anything about, but I was aware that it existed. The third step is conscious competence. This is where you are actively engaged in the learning process, and you have attained a particular skill set that you can use. You become aware of what you're doing. So this stage happens around really not very long in Jiu Jitsu. You start gaining some elements of conscious competence. You learn how to do, like a cross choke, X choke. You are to a degree competent in that technique. You learn an arm bar, you're competent. You might not be great, but you understand how the move works. You can think about it, you can rationalize it, you can figure it out, you can even maybe show it to someone else. This is the stage that we spend all of our early years of training in, this level of conscious competence. I know that I'm learning something, I know that I'm getting better at it, and I know that I am going to continue to excel. This is the stage, I would say, kind of the mid-white belt all the way to black belt. Now there are different levels of conscious competence, right? The final stage is unconscious competence. Now, what does this mean? This means that I've reached a level of understanding in my skill set that essentially my body can take over and perform the skill without the conscious awareness of what I'm doing. This is a musician that can close his eyes with a guitar and just play. Doesn't matter how tired he is or what's going on, he can just play a song. This is, same thing, it could be a piano player, it could be any particular skill. In mixed martial arts, this is the guy who's losing the fight. He's almost knocked out, and then he throws a perfect right cross, knocks his opponent out, and afterwards barely remembers what happened. But he's done that right cross thousands and thousands of times. So he does not need to think about it. It becomes automatic. And really, this is the ultimate goal of mastering a skill, is to become unconsciously competent. Now, if you're an instructor, you don't want to be unconsciously competent all the time, because then you could become that instructor who's just a brilliant competitor and can go out and perform against the best people in the world, but has a very hard time explaining what they're doing. So as an instructor, you have to kind of do both. The reality is nobody is that level in every aspect of the game. It's impossible. Nobody's going to be at an extremely high level of every part of the game. The half guard, deep half guard, spider guard, open guard, closed guard, passing the half guard, takedowns, pulling guard, defense, everything. You will always have areas that you are better than and other areas that require a little more thinking. They're a little less automatic. But the goal is to strive for and reach this level so that the wiring between your body and your brain is so trained that you react regardless of fatigue, regardless of stress. You're just trained. You've put in the time, you've put in the work, and you just go. And high-level black belts that perform flawlessly or seemingly flawlessly have reached this level in many parts of their game, but not everywhere. That's why we never stop learning. We never reach perfection. Even at a high level of any skill, you will still be bouncing in between that conscious competence and unconscious competence. And it's important to pay attention to where you are. Where are you in the stage? If obviously most of you watching this, the time where you were at the unconscious incompetence, you didn't even know about Jiu Jitsu, has already passed, because you're probably not watching this if you have not already begun some type of Jiu Jitsu training. Some of you may be brand new to it, so you might be at that beginning stage where you're consciously incompetent. You know you want to learn Jiu Jitsu, but you haven't learned anything yet, and that's an exciting place to be. Trust me, it's going to be very fun. Most of us will spend most of our time, like I said, on the conscious competence, and we're gradually growing that part of our understanding. We're adding to it. So really, we always have elements that we're unaware of. When we learn a new technique or a new concept we've never learned before, we didn't even know. So in a way, we're back to the beginning when it comes to learning new techniques, and that's exciting. So no matter how much you learn, there's always more out there. And then as you approach, I would say, kind of the advanced purple, brown, and black, that's where you really start having big parts of your skill set that you're performing unconsciously. You're just reacting automatically. And that's what we should do. That is the goal, is to perform without thought, to drill and spar and do repetitions over and over again, put so much time and effort and specific focused training that we just react, we just go. And so think about that. I hope this helps you understand, your journey, because jiu-jitsu can be frustrating sometimes. We think we're not getting there, but it takes time. Everybody learns at their own pace. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, share it with a friend and leave a comment. Let me know which level you're at and which techniques are you are you unconsciously competent in? What do you do automatically without thought? And hopefully next time it'll be more than just a green screen. Have an awesome day.